Now this is good. This is a screenshot for everyone. So, guys, we are going to dive into it. This is the first ever Chilling with Mix. We're going to dive into Sir Mix-a-Lot, what he's been up to, the 30th anniversary, and also his relationship and his working relationship with BitButts NFT. So, Mix, the question that I've been seeing a lot is, how did you first get involved with BitButts?
It's funny. We've been flirting with the NFT space for a while. But I was dead set on it not being a cash grab. I didn't want to look like, oh man, dude's really hurting for bread, because I'm not. That nothing could be further from the truth. So we partnered up with Mark Wolf, and is like, he's modest, but dude produced Terminator 3, and he's always talking about how broke he is. He's lying his ass off. But anyway, long story short, we hooked up with him and the Colorectal Cancer Alliance, and that did it. That did it. I mean, it was a match made in heaven for me. And I've been wanting to flirt in the space for a while, to be honest with you. And I was trying to find out a way to get in that didn't look desperate. And I think this is perfect.
Exactly. And I think that you're the perfect spokesperson for the job. And guys, I just want to tell you, please ask your questions. I'll do my best to catch them. But we have a lot of viewers, which is awesome. So keep them coming. Mix, is it true? And tell us a little about your experience. You designed a certain amount of butts, correct?
Yeah. I was just gonna say I had my hand in 35 of them. I gotta watch how I phrase this stuff, right?
Yeah, same here.
I was instrumental in the development of about 35 of them, and one of them I kept for myself because I had to keep a little memorabilia. So
I was just about to ask you if you had a favorite button. It sounds like you were able to keep it.
I gobbled it up. I shouldn't have said that either. Huh?
I walk in, I go, oh, I'm neck deep in butts right now when we're working on BitButts. And I go, wait, I can't say that.
I'm going to do this about 50 more times, so get used to it.
Yeah, and then not to mention when we go, but, oh, wait, and assets, no.
Yeah,
so we've teased it just a little bit on social media that you did kind of a new recording, a new mix, per se, of Baby Got Back for BitButts. Can you tell us about that experience and how it started, how the recording process was like? Tell us your story on it.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because, like I said, Mark and I were talking, and he kind of brought it up. He said, "Man, I'd like you to do a little song," and I'm like, "Yeah, but I got to do it the way I want to do it." So he wanted me to use "Baby Got Back" as the instrumental and the inspiration, but I didn't want to be like too "Baby Got Back"-esque, right? I wanted to make sure that people knew, oh, wait a minute, this is something different. And he let me loose. Yeah, he let me loose. I don't get that a lot. Like when I do commercials and stuff, we have to pull guns on people to let them let me deviate like 5%,
Right, and a lot of people don't know that you mix all of your own music and you have a full-on studio in your house. Did you mix the song yourself?
Yeah, the name Mix-a-Lot did not just come from me doing turntables back in the day. It came from actually mixing and mastering my own stuff. Now, that being said, the early stuff didn't sound great, but, I had people like Terry Date and people like that helped me along the way. Rick Rubin, obviously. And, got my skills all dialed in. And yeah, that's what I do. I mean, I'm in my studio right now. So,
yeah. So other than diving into the NFT world with BitButts and, keeping your own favorite and having your hand in, wait, I shouldn't say that. You're having your own say in the development of these different NFT BitButts. What else are you up to? Can you give us a little insight into the day of the life of Sir Mix-a-Lot?
A whole bunch of stuff I'm putting together. I can't say the brand yet, but I'm working hopefully with a large brand, knock on some wood, about a little project we're doing that's going to be a year-long campaign. And we may be able to do that. I try intentionally to stay out of the public eye for cheesy reasons. So I like to make sure that if I'm going to step out and do something, I do it grand and then go away for a minute. People don't need to see me anymore, right? But yeah, I'm working on a few things, man. I got this project here is going to launch a lot of stuff because it's the 30th anniversary of Baby Got Back. We released it in 1992 on May the 7th. And so we're doing a tour. We're doing a whole bunch of other stuff, like making a documentary about the song and what it was really about. And a lot of people think it was just about butts, but actually it's not.
Do you want to dive more into that? What was it about? Can you give us a little more insight?
Well, let's go back and rewind. I did this song in 91. It came out in 92. So prior to that, whenever you saw like women of color on television, unless they assimilated to another culture, they were often seen as the streetwise prostitute on the Law and Order episode, the overweight maid who gave the goofy little white family advice, you know, little stuff like that. It was really somewhat condescending, and you know, and it kept happening over and over and over. And obviously there are some exceptions, especially, you know, Felicia Rashad, Cosby Show, and probably to a certain extent Florida on Good Times. She was not the typical, you know, me can't talk well. No, it was very, very well done. So yeah, there's some exceptions, but by and large, that's what we saw. And I realized that watching Miami Vice one day, and I heard, I'm not going to say the comedian's name because I realized that the line was written for him. It wasn't what he thought, but he said something about preferring gluteus minimus, right? And he's kind of like assimilated, like I said before, to something else. So I just made up my mind then. I said, you know what? This starts with the look. And I realized that Cosmo was pushing, you know, these heroin, look like heroin addicts. You ever look in Cosmopolitan back in the 80s? They look like skeletons, you know what I mean? And it was unrealistic in my opinion. So I figured I would do a serious song hidden in comedy. So we put the song out. It went platinum right out of the gate, and then double platinum, and then #1. And then somebody at MTV got the memo, and that was it. While it was #1 in the country, it got banned.
No.
Think about that for a minute. I don't know if that's ever happened before. It got banned while it was #1. I thought my career was over. Rick Rubin did not agree. You know, Heidi, she was the publicist back then. She still is his publicist, as a matter of fact. And she gave me this line that she told me that I was Elvis Presley and I shook my leg one too many times on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Oh, wow.
So I had to immediately go back and, what the hell's that mean? You know what I mean? Right. And I realized that he was banned, but he became the forbidden fruit. So wow. A song with no cussing in it went #1 and was banned. What other reason was there?
That's why it's still legendary 30 years later.
I agree.
This is a question from me. Whose idea was it for you to stand on one giant butt in the music video?
It wasn't mine, right? I mean, because I'm going to tell you, man, can I cuss at all?
Yeah, let it rip.
Good, good. All right. So we walk in the video. Me, Ricardo, got my boy Maharaji's with me, got Attitude Adjuster, E-Dog, you know, the homies, right? We walk in and we see this big yellow ass. When I say big, I'm not talking about, when you saw me on top of that ass, that was real. That was not some cosmetic cut-in. No, that was me. And the first thing I thought about when the director asked me to get on top of this ass was, wait a minute, man, there's only one place I could stand, because if you stand on either cheek, you fall off. So I had to kind of open my legs like this and stand over the crack. But I had on brown.
Oh no.
And my dudes were just blasting me. Oh, it looked like a piece of shit. I'm just real talk, man. It was like but it was a surreal, because at that time, you know, when you did videos, you know, if I'm not mistaken, I heard Waterfalls was over $1 million. It was a great video, better than Baby Got Back, but you know, it's still $1 million. And we got that one relatively cheap in those days for, like, I think of about 150 grand. But to make a big paper mache ass, I don't think I would have made that even back then for 100 grand. So I don't know how they pulled it all off, but maybe it's the power of Rick Rubin. Definitely wasn't me.
So you climbed on a ladder, then stood on this ass, and then realized, I'm wearing brown. We gotta change.
I realized it before I went up there.
Okay, good.
And I said, you know what? If I don't like this, it's coming out. I started bitching about it. There were a few things that I argued about it on that video set, but that was not one of the serious ones. And when I saw the footage, I actually liked it. I thought it was a little goofy initially, but then I said, you know what? If this song comes off serious, then the whole wink, wink, nod, nod wouldn't have worked.
Right.
You know? I said, I'm not going to come off like militant. I'm going to let them figure it out. And then it turned into something else.
An iconic scene, a legendary song that's still being played today. So I guess my next question is, you were sampled in Nicki Minaj's Anaconda. How did that conversation go? Did she approach you, or what happened?
She did, kind of. But kind of Ice-T had a little bit to do with it.
Okay.
Because Ice-T kind of is the one that told me, hey, you know, Nicki's trying to get at you, blah, blah, blah. And, wishful thinking, Nicki's trying to get at me, but it wasn't that. It was on some business. I ain't Nicki's type. But yeah, she hit me up, and everybody thinks that I somehow had this big influence on that song. No. Nikki knew exactly what she wanted when we got on the phone. She was very professional, handling her business, and she was in the studio, not calling somebody, telling them, that's the stereotype when women are, beautiful. They think that they just sit around and wait to be pampered. No, she was about her business. And she handled it, knocked it out. And keep in mind, I'm an old fuck, right? So I'm like, how you going to release this? How you going to set it up? And she was like, what?
Different times, right? Different times.
My old tired ass is trying to figure out how you going to set this record up like we used to do back in the day. No. She said, just pay attention. Come August, fire. And let me tell you something. The day she released it, it was like, I just sat back and do nothing. I just watched. And then I'm all over Instagram and it's like, and then she just killed it. She killed it. And I got out of the way. That's one thing I did not want to do. You see these old cats, when they get sampled, they come out in public and kind of step in front of the artist that's currently using the track. I don't believe in that. I wanted her to take that thing as far as she could go. I've been sampled by, I've had Posse on Broadway sampled. I've had Swa sampled by the Pussycat Dolls and stuff like that. And I never get in the way of the sample itself.
Right. So is there any hint of that on your upcoming reunion tour? You think Nicki Minaj might pop up sometime?
Nicki Minaj is not free. Trust me. Okay. Yeah. I get Nicki Minaj. There goes my salary right out the window, right?
Maybe you'll pop up on her tour then.
Yeah. Okay. I got to sneak in the back door to get in her tour.
She'd be so lucky to have you. So we're 30 years circling back around. When you were recording the Bit Butts remix, is that a fair way to say it? Bit Butts remix?
Yeah, you can call it that. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have some flashbacks from 30 years ago when you're, switching these words around on a song that you must have done a million times since then?
Actually, no, not really, because I've done it a million times since then. What was weird about it is that it's the first time, though, that I've recreated it and tried to sound like the original. Oh. Usually, I intentionally just sound like I sound, and it's the song just by the music. But it's the first time that I really tried to make it sound close to the original. And I usually don't believe in mocking my own song, but that really wasn't a mock, especially when it's for a good cause, which is awesome. Yeah.
And there's even a line about that. So, guys, I got to plug this real quick. We have the full version of the Bit Butts remix song coming very soon. So make sure you follow this page that we're on, Bit Butts NFT. It's for a good cause. It's for Colorectal Cancer Alliance. And you'll see the full remix of Baby Got Back, but I like Bit Butts, and we have so much fun content coming out. Nick and I are going to be doing more lives throughout the week. We're going to be talking about the 30th anniversary. We're going to be diving in, answering your questions. I saw a question earlier that grabbed my attention, Nick.
These guys are down here bringing up buttermilk biscuits, swap meat Louis. Some dude told me I got to put on some shades to look at his diamonds. Go ahead, baby.
Oh, yeah.
I got you, bro.
I'm catching up on the comments right now.
Wow, they taking it way back.
Maybe you'll enjoy this one. I saw one about you going back to being a DJ at the radio station. Do you see any future in that for you?
Not no more.
No?
I did it. I was curious. I took a 2-year contract, and Eric Powers is my buddy. Bree was hella cool to work with. But I realized quickly, that it wasn't going to work. Not that I had a problem with him, because I loved it, but I knew that I like touring and like being in the studio too much. And man, I was doing my radio show. Literally, I'd be on the road, stop, get a hotel, set up my stuff, do the whole show, check back out of the hotel, and go to the next city. And it was just too much work. Way too much.
I mean, juggling all that on top of mixing your own music is just a lot for any person to handle. Yeah. So we have BitButts NFT launching on March 30th. You've got your favorite butt. You've had your hand in designing over 30 butts. Things are super exciting. Do you have a favorite moment during the creation and I guess the approach for BitButts NFT that really resonates with you? Your favorite moment since you joined up with BitButts?
It's going to sound boring, but honestly, it's when we met with the folks from the Colorectal Cancer Alliance. That, to me, let me know, okay, the meat and potatoes just showed up. And I don't want to let that go. And I didn't realize how underfunded it was, which is kind of ironic because it takes, 1 out of every 25 men gets it and 1 out of every 23 women gets it. And I was like, wow, and it's underfunded? Maybe it's because we don't like talking about butts, but I love talking about butts, so I handle it for you.
Yeah, and that's the whole pitch for bitbutts.com. You get this one of a kind. It's there is 6,666 different butts, some created by Sir Mix-a-Lot himself. And when you get this custom one of a kind NFT, you're also helping the Colorectal Cancer Alliance. So that's
Yes.
the main reason why Mix joined, and that's the main reason why these three things work so well together.
Now,
So
I have had to defend something.
what did you have to defend?
Now, my good buddy Mark, I guess he made up his mind to do the 6,666 butts.
Okay.
And everybody said, "What is this, Lucifer? Sign of
No.
the devil?" Now, wait. So I asked him, why 6,666? He said, a 6 looks like a butt.
Shouldn't it be an 8?
A 3.
A 3. Oh.
3. Man, how you figure, you know what kind of ass a 6 would be? That's like a droopy, you know what I mean? That's like as if I walked in here naked, ass down on my ankle somewhere. No, you can't do that, man. But anyway, I just wanted to clear that up because I've been getting hit with that a lot. I'm like, no, it's not the sign of the devil. It's just Mark was probably smoking that goot, that night.
Right. So Mark saw 6s as butts, and just now we're all repping the 6,666.
Yeah.
And that is another thing we need to push is we're teasing them, and we're getting ready for a launch on March 30th. But bitbutts.com is where you'll find all the information, and our social media does teases, does giveaways. So make sure you check that out. Mix and I are going to become best friends doing these lives together, and we're going to keep repping it and making sure that you guys know what's going on. I'm going to go back to the comments right here.
Yeah, let's go to the comments. I love talking to people.
Yes, it's a lot of just love towards you. Super cool. They're saying thank you for the questions. We got one from ATO Worldwide. He says, would you ever work with new and upcoming artists?
Yes, absolutely. Especially ones that dare to be different. And people always say, oh, trap. They all say, first of all, I love trap. I love it because it's really, I predicted this years ago, back in 2000 when dubstep was real big. I said dubstep and chop and screw, which was going on at the same time down south on the hip hop side, were both taking beats around 140 to 150 BPMs and slicing them in half. So they felt like they were, 75 BPMs, but the hi-hats were double. So it made you do this as opposed to this. And I knew that something was going to come of that. And that's where trap, I think dubstep and chop and screw had a baby named trap. But I love it. But I do like when an artist challenges themselves. It's easy to say, motherfucker, I got 10 hoes, I got bitches, and I smoke this weed. And, oh, wow, big shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Don't get me wrong. If cats do it, that's how they really live. I respect it. But 90% of them, yeah, you ain't knocking them dead like that unless you're making that paper. So I do like to work with new artists that dare to be different, especially if you have subject matter. What a concept.
So you hop in your car, you're driving to the store. What does Sir Mix-a-Lot throw on Spotify or whatever you're listening to? What's your go-to?
I listen to a lot of stuff. I listen to multiple genres, right? You get in my car, there's something I still like about rock, and I don't mean friendly rock. I like 7-string chunky stuff. It's because the percussive, that I love that kind of shit, man. So I'll listen to that, and I listen to the lyrics. I try to sing along, but I can't sing with the shit, But I try. You won't hear me because I'm in my own car by myself. Now, if you're in the car with me, you ain't gonna hear me bark, right? But
I'd like to hear that. That sounds fun.
But I listen to a lot of hip hop. I love multiple different types of hip hop. Like I like hip hop that's a feel, where people kind of rap on beat and they become an instrument and you nod to it. And I also can listen to some old Nas or some Eminem or Tech Nine, people that can really spit. Like you listen to the Skills and it's like, damn. So I kind of like a little bit of everything. I like story time. I can listen to Ice-T tell stories about gang shit forever. Right. So it really depends on who it is. And females really get me. I can listen to them all day long. To me, the most underestimated female artist out right now is Janelle Monáe.
Oh, okay.
And you know why I think she's overlooked?
Why?
Because she ain't flashing nothing. Right? But that will be the reason she sustains her career will last, because she didn't really go over the top and do anything. but she is an incredible artist. I went down to see her live, and I'm standing out in the crowd with everybody else, and there wasn't no mask in those days, right? And nobody gave a shit that I was standing there.
They're all lost in the music, right?
Get out the way, fat boy. I'm trying to see Janelle Monáe. You know,
All
yeah.
right, we have another question from the audience. This is from Shelby Lynn. Which one of your songs is your favorite?
Actually, my favorite songs, artists always like the songs that nobody else heard, right? I got a few of them, actually. But there's one called Y'all Don't Know. And it's an album that I released under, it was an experimental release where the record label would keep it for 1 year and then the masters would revert back to me, but didn't work because the record label didn't have any incentive to put money into it. If they knew it was going to, the master was going to revert back to me. If I had known better, I would have put money in it myself right out of the gate and used their PR machine and then took the label. But that's my ignorance. But it's a song really about my, not only my career, but my life, like where I came from, you know, from where I grew up, which is Seattle is a very interesting city in that where the ghetto used to be is now high end.
Wow.
Seriously. And TNT's on here. He knows what I'm talking about. So I grew up in the hood and there were no gangs then. It was like pimps. So I knew more about pimping by the time I was 12 than most cats know at 50. You know, I knew the whole transaction and what the average blank went for. You knew that back in those days because you're standing on 19th and Yesler where that's all you saw. However, that gave birth to Mix-a-Lot, the artist, even though rap wasn't really born yet. As it came about in the late 70s, 79 was the first rap song I heard, which was Sugar Hill Gang. Obviously, most of us on the West Coast, that's the first rap song we heard. And I realized that I got some stories I could tell, right? You know, because I can apply the things I learned on those streets to everyday talk. But I don't talk about them in terms of, you know, come on out here and get your ass lit up. I don't get into that. I really take game that I learned from the streets and apply that to life. Not going out killing somebody that don't pay well, you know. And I'm a proud capitalist, and I believe in teaching kids, if they want to know, how to monetize their art. And so many society tells kids right now, you know, well, to be earthy, you have to share your art. And no, you don't. Value your art. If I like your stuff, I'm a grown-ass man. I make money. I can buy your art. Why would you give it to me for nothing? And I think that it's wrong that we're subconsciously teaching kids not to value anything. We really do. I hate the word empowerment. Can't stand it because it implies somebody gave you power. Something I've never really liked. I believe that the people on this thing right now can make their way. But when you tell them, wait for somebody to bless you, that's lazy. And I don't really feel that.
So your origin that you just told us led this to these beliefs and the way you are now in your career and everything. I have an interesting comment. Maybe it'll bring back some flashbacks. This is the comment. I was a roadie for you and helped haul equipment back on the Baby Got Back tour. It was a fun time. You guys left me and Jay in Panama City and we drove him to Atlanta. Does that sound familiar to you at all?
That does sound familiar, but I'm trying to figure out which one of us it was. Because it was me, E-Dog, let's see, me, E-Dog, Maharaji, Kid Sensation was on some of those shows. PLB was on some of those shows. Mike came out on some. Darcel came out on some. And Critical Mass, God rest his soul, that was my guy. That's what Jay, he went to Atlanta. And man, that dude, let me tell you, first of all, he scared the shit out of me. This dude was whoosh, I'm talking about. He had biceps as big as my head. And you never knew when he was really mad because he'd laugh right before he socked you in the chest, you know, that kind of stuff.
Oh, no. And he dodged
and whoever this is knows exactly, I'm not lying. No, that dude was scary when he got mad. It's like, I'm on your side, right? You know, that kind of thing.
Right. We have a request for you to do a show in Vancouver, Canada. And would you ever do it?
Oh, hell yeah. I played Vancouver before. You know what I really like, though? I played Whistler one time. And there was an all-female ski team. Have you seen the butts on women that ski? Lord have mercy.
The
Woo!
workout. That's the workout. That
Oh
was
my
fun.
goodness. And you know how you try to act like you ain't looking, but you're looking, that kind of thing.
These sunglasses on.
Yeah.
All right, this one's kind of it's an interesting one. We'll see how you feel about it. Do you regret any song that you recorded?
Yeah, I do. You know what? Every artist does. They won't say it because they're not supposed to. There's a few songs I did that were out. You could obviously tell I was going for a check, right? And not really on those first albums. I was doing music that I thought was never going to be heard, right? But then after I made some money, I then tried to do songs for money. Whenever you do that, bye-bye, you're done. And luckily, I had other songs on that same album that did well, like Jump on It and stuff like that. But yeah, I did. I have a few. I have a few that I regret. One in particular was not one of these poppy, songs. It was a song I did called National Anthem. And the reason I regret the song is because I wasn't as politically well versed as I am now.
Oh.
So I said some things insinuating that the stealth bomber it's a long story, but
right.
I said some things that just kind of weren't true. And I realized it after the song came out. I did my homework and I was like, oh shit, I had a friend of mine that was a Navy SEAL and he kind of corrected me on some stuff. So now if I'm going to do a song that's serious, I make sure that I'm well versed in it. And whatever it is, I'm qualified to go there. I won't talk about it. A lot of people do some songs, and I'm sure some people agree. I don't know what the hell they're talking about after the time. Like, dude, are you getting your information off of television, or are you actually doing some research? It's like, right. That was me. I've done a couple of those songs myself. So.
Well, live and learn, right? So you mentioned that there's a documentary coming out about the 30th anniversary of Baby Got Back. Can you tell us anything about that? Have you started filming? Where is it going to come out? We want to know what to expect.
It's going to come out here pretty quick. We're going to start shooting it now, like pronto. So as soon as this project's done, we're doing it. And Julie Pilot, good friend of ours, she was up here when Baby Got Back was born. She was on radio and stuff like that. And she's hella cool. And she's the one that wants to do it. And we're thinking about some interesting people to narrate it. One she likes and I also like, but then one I like more and she also likes. So we're butting heads. It depends on who's funding it, right?
Got it. Yeah.
Right now, I don't know if I'm funding it or she's funding it. She's probably going to get it funded though, because it looks like we have a network interested in it. So, and I want it to be the truth though.
Right.
I want it to be fun, but I want it to be the truth about that song. Initially, I remember going on tour and I remember we were in Nebraska and a bunch of women were going to protest the show. And instead of doing what most artists do is avoid it, put a coat over their head, some big bodyguard walks them in. I didn't do that. Before I even got there, I wanted to debate them. So I got a few of them on radio. Wow. And I called in from a hotel. I was on my way to Nebraska. I was going to get there in 2 days. And I let them go in on me. And they told me what they said, you took African-American women and you reduced them to a body part. That's a fair criticism if you don't listen to the whole song. Mm-hmm. The butt part of that song was the sophomoric me. I was chasing the butt, but the overarching point of the song was, sisters, stop assimilating and be yourselves. And if you notice in the song, Mix-a-Lot never got the girl. Mm-hmm. In the video, and this is by design, not the director says he made that up. I'm like, your last name was Bernstein, dude. Anyway, so in the video, I intentionally shot it with the girl, Amin, elevated on a pedestal. So we're constantly, I'm still the sex hound. I wasn't going to be the opposite of who I was before the song, right? So I'm trying to get to her, but I can't. She's the unobtainium. There's a reason that the two girls criticized her, looked up. Now, all that stuff was done for a reason. I did not want to reach her. And I told those girls that. And then I started talking about what I meant in certain lyrics in the song, certain words in the song. And they actually went back and listened. And they said, yeah, give me a sister. I can't resist her. I didn't say anything about, I hit it. I said, I want to, but I can't. And that was the whole point. I basically wanted her to be the queen. And in that video, she was untouched. She wasn't one of the dancers. She was literally on a pedestal. And the supermodel girl that was mocking her was lower. All that was done for a reason. It's kind of subconscious stuff, you know.
Wow. So when you saw the final cut, or I guess, a rough edit of the music video, were you happy with it, or did you want to push more of those metaphors once you saw it?
No, because I think he was right. Adam was, in that he realized if we went over the top with the seriousness, the song might never get played.
Right.
Because remember, I was knocking the very people that were buying ad time on MTV. And that had something to do with me getting banned while it was number one. You know what I mean? So.
Well, 30 years later, it's still circulating. So that ban did not last very long at all.
Yeah, it's like getting played at weddings now. That's when I know my ass is old.
No.
I'm old as black pepper, man.
So did the ban just get lifted, or what even happened? Did you rebuttal? Did you have to go legal with it? Or was the popularity so much that the ban just disappeared?
I'm going to tell you, it's just a lot of happenstance, because when it got banned, I'm telling you, I almost cried. I was so upset. And then Heidi makes that call to me, Heidi Robinson. I love you, Heidi, if you're watching. She makes that call to me, kind of lift my spirit. Then we're on the way home and we get a call from the Arsenio Hall show. Oh, I said, what's up? Well, we understand the song got banned. And then at the time I had that big inflatable butt. I used to tour with this 40-foot tall inflatable butt, and it got shot down on Sunset Boulevard.
Shot with a bullet?
With an arrow.
With an arrow? Wow.
Yeah. So it was an arrow, and it was from a women's group that was, they thought it was objectifying women, which I never really tried to argue that. Even though the song wasn't intended to go there, I wasn't going to be a hypocrite. I do like asses, right? So I kind of let it happen, didn't argue about it. So Arsenio brought me on to talk about it. And,
awesome.
and he talked about the song getting banned. He talked about the problems and how many people did not want that song to even exist. That blew it up far more than MTV did. I could not believe it. It was like, phew, it just took off again. And we stopped counting how many records are sold in '93. We never counted another record. So I'd love to see where it's at, because we stopped at 3 million.
So we just got an interesting note. It said the song did air on MTV, though, only after 9 p.m.
Yeah, they say that. They say that all the time.
Wait, that already?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't watching after 9 p.m. However, I'm not mad at MTV, because I did have to put myself in their shoes and go, okay, my top sponsors are like, hey, whoa, hey, I probably would have done the same thing. And in retrospect, I'm not mad that they did it, because if they hadn't, I'd be the Macarena.
No, you are not that. You are not at all. So moving on, we're getting a lot of people just joining, so I got to do my plug. We are talking about the 30th anniversary of Baby Got Back, but we're also talking about one of many of Mix's new business ventures. This one is with bitbutt.com. It's an NFT company that is also donating to the Colorectal Cancer Alliance. Sorry, it's a mouthful. Yeah. And helping with research and awareness for colorectal cancer. Sorry, that's tough. It's easier to type. So we want to plug that real quick. Mix, can you give us a quick little blurb about BitButts? Because we just got a surge of new people watching. So I just want to circle back around and tell us a little bit about your experience with BitButts.
Yeah, BitButts, like I said, I'm an NFT virgin. But I was curious about the space. I'm always curious about any emerging technology. I'm on top of it usually. But this one, you can't just walk in a door. Yeah, Mix-a-Lot, what's up? What y'all doing? No, don't work like that. I haven't been invited to a Discord yet. Like, I thought Discord was a new Honda. I didn't even know what the hell it was. But I know now. And but I respect the fact that in this space, you can't gimmick it. I like that. That's refreshing. That you come in and they know it's a money play. That's it. You should be giving something back to some. I mean, guys are making millions of dollars, and and I noticed that they're giving some of it back, and that's a good thing.
Exactly. So We will be back again later this week, but on this Instagram that I'm going live on, BitButts NFT, we will have updates about the release on March 30th, anything Sir Mix-a-Lot related, and updates on everything we're working on. Mix, it has been amazing talking to you. This was so much fun. I look forward to talking to you again really soon. Is there anything you want to say to all the fans and followers watching right now?
Just say, I don't know, artists say this all the time. I love you guys, but anybody that sees me do shows, you guys know when I come to your shows, and like I said, COVID made me stop it. You guys know how I get down in the crowd. I do whole songs in the crowd with the crowd. I don't lip sync, so I can get away with that. But with COVID, they're like, "Nah, dude, we can't have you jumping out in the crowd." But hopefully one day we'll get back to that. I know there's another variant on the way, but I got to get boosted now. Man, they've been poking me so much, man. I feel like a pincushion over here.
Well, the music will flow no matter what, right? No matter what.
Oh, yeah.
Mick will show up, he will perform, and he'll rock the house. We can all agree on that.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
What's up, Portland?
For updates.
503.
Yeah, you see the comments. Good. Oh, yeah. Mix, it's been great talking to you. Thank you again. I hope you have a great night, and we'll talk really soon.
All right, man.